You're going to get these punch stats that are out there all the time. The UFC puts them out, PFL puts them out, and it's, this guy landed 29 shots while this guy landed 19. Well, that doesn't mean that guy wins the fight, because if the 19 were a lot harder than the 29, that guy's going to win the round. And those are the kind of things that we go through.
Getting on top. You're on top, you're winning. Those two concepts, throw them out the window, because whether you like it or not, whether the judges like it or not even the judges are not necessarily like, oh, this is the perfect scoring system. It's just the scoring system that they are required to work within. And I'm telling you that takedowns and being on top are two things that are vastly misunderstood. Grabbing Sean O'Malley and being behind him with a body lock barely scores at all. That is simply a change of position. It's what you do with the takedown that really scores. It's the ground and pound that you get once you've taken the guy down. It's the submission attempts or the advancing of position that you do once you get the takedown. Maybe I landed a big right hand and you shot a takedown. My right hand matters more than your takedown. And again, control, this idea of controlling someone, although I'm a grappler, I was never a very good striker. It's painful to me to tell you that control counts for almost nothing in a fight. It's not how they are taught and required to score a fight. But being on top of someone, just being in someone's guard, gives you nothing. And if you do nothing with it and the guy from the bottom lands an elbow, that guy won the exchange, not the guy on top.
When in commentary, somebody makes that reference to the takedown won the round, winds me the hell up. Because, Mark, please explain. The takedown is just a change of position. It's what you do with it, isn't it?
Correct. I mean, people don't understand that. Obviously, it was like, even back in the day, because it's not 2002. People think that if you finish the round on top or you take someone down that you've won the round, it's so absurd. Look, not all takedowns are the same, obviously, as not all punches and not all kicks are the same. So if I take you down, okay, if I just run into you and bundle you to the ground and I land in a closed guard or a half guard, yes, it's an offensive action. Yes, it can be given some credit, but it bears absolutely no significance as to somebody having, like I said, comes back to the effectiveness, the damage, and impactful. When we fight, make no mistake about it, the number one criteria, the preeminent factor that a judge will consider is damage. Did you know that defense was never scored or come into a judge's mind? Did you know that?
Really? So if you're defending every takedown?
Buddy, there you go.
We're seeing it in the UFC a lot now as well. Guys are getting 12 takedowns and still losing fights, but they're getting them and the guy's getting up immediately. So I feel like it's much fairer now, the judging.
Here's the thing, mate. It's not there. It's just more understood. It was always there. It's just more understood. And like you said, you got back up. So what? That's your job. You get zero credit, none, for getting back to your feet. Nothing. All the credit goes to the person, the offensive guy. You had to get back to your feet if you don't want to lose. Or you could elect to stay there, pull them down and start beating them up. Now you're the aggressor. Now you're the offensive person. Nothing gets... And like, if I'm throwing punches at you and you're slipping, bobbing, you're putting on a masterclass of movement and it looks beautiful. You're scoring this much points. Nothing. Wow. Zero. That's your job, because if you don't slip, bob, weave and move and look fantastic, I'm going to start piecing you up. We're talking to a current active fighter who was a world champion, blah, 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 on the cusp of a second world championship fights, and you're telling me you're finding things out for the first time? That's crazy.
One big shot is more important than 3 small shots that land. So for instance, like one right hand that really lands is more important than 3 jabs. But in general, the power strikes are more important than the volume strikes. So take that idea. The crux of judging in general almost always comes down to how many volume strikes equal 1 power strike. Like if we're all judging on damage, how much little bit of damage
Right.
cancels out one shot that seems like a pretty decent amount of damage without a knockdown. Knockdowns make everything pretty easy. You know, if there's one knockdown on one side, then like more often than not, this is not a rule, but more often than not, that round is going to go to the person that got the knockdown.
But damage is the number one scoring criteria through effective striking and effective grappling. You've heard these other terms, effective aggressiveness, effective cage control. These things we never get to, Ariel. The public does not need to ever use the term effective aggressiveness or effective cage control really in the context of scoring. The only thing that matters is how the techniques through striking or grappling have impacted their opponent. The hope is it'll be easier for the public and the commentators to understand, whether it be through cumulative or immediate, but the immediate having the more impact. I think that's important for the public to get, and that's the reason I wanted to convey that. I think it's a clarification, but I think it's more of like just makes it easier to understand. The winner gets 10 points, the loser gets 9 or less.
What about a 10-10? Should we be seeing more of those?
No. Look, man, if you watch a fight for 5 minutes, Ariel,
Mm-hmm.
and you can't tell me who won that fight, and they're fighting in earnest, I'll find another judge.